What's up everybody, Dr. Mck4y here and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at my SpaceX vehicles and the assembly building, my crawler, the launch tower and basically everything I've made to do with SpaceX so far. And we're going to be taking out the Falcon 9 and the Falcon Heavy for a test flight, and it'll be also a tutorial on how to fly them because the rockets themselves are up on the workshop for anyone to play around with. So firstly, this is the vehicle assembly building. As you can see, it says SpaceX. Now, I'm a massive fan of SpaceX and what they do, so it's been a great enjoyment of mine to recreate the rockets. So firstly, let's go inside and have a look at what I've got. Now, this is my test bed for the Falcon 9. Obviously, it's horizontal at the minute, but essentially, I have one parked up here on this landing gear and I can alter it, change it, test it and make sure it all works before I take it out to the pad. And basically, as you can see, this is the Crew Dragon. Obviously the nose cone opens to reveal 4 ion thrusters, and also obviously there's another 4 ion thrusters just behind in the aft section, and there's obviously a couple in all the different axes as well for control while flying. Obviously, we take a little look inside. You obviously have 2 cockpits, and you've got the yellow LED screens that are using the in-game scripts for obviously the artificial horizon, obviously planet's gravity, your speed, and your fuel. And obviously, there's a inside hatch as well for when docking to a space station. Obviously, all your batteries, a survival kit as well for when you're out in space. So that's basically that, and obviously fuel hookups for the different stages, so you can obviously, if you wanted to build it in survival, you can refuel it. And obviously it has 9 engines. Unfortunately though, the small hydrogen thrusters, 9 of them, didn't give it enough thrust to take off, so I had to put four of the big ones on and have 5 little ones. So it's still got 9 engines, just they're not all the same. Now obviously over here we have basically the crawler that basically can take the Falcon 9s or Falcon Heavy over to the launch tower and then basically put the rocket vertical on the pad. Now it's quite slow. I've set it to about 3 meters a second, otherwise it kind of pays a visit and then it all goes to hell, but it does work quite well. Obviously this side of the base is where I mated the side boosters to the Falcon Heavy, and it was quite a task because I basically put the Falcon 9 there with the Crew Dragon in the middle. I spawned in 2 boosters, obviously altered the heads to make obviously them like a dome, and I basically mated them together with merge blocks and connectors, and let's just say Clang destroyed a couple bits. As you can see, I got a hole there and I had a patch up there as well. Yeah, but it did work out quite well. And obviously this is the lovely bit of kit here that it took me a while to make. It's basically the transport inside the hangar. Obviously it runs on obviously the wheels, and I've got cameras set up so obviously you can see where the rocket is, and obviously the different toolbars does different things. Obviously this one does the pistons up and down, and I also have, if the rockets are lower or higher, I can alter the height. Obviously got landing gear, and that's about it on that. And also got 2 cameras, one on the actual arm itself and one up in the middle. And basically I use this to move the Falcon 9s from basically the construction pads onto the crawler, and it works quite well. I like it. No problems with Clang on that, so it's been quite nice. And obviously when the Falcon 9s are loaded up, I drive them out to the pad, hook up the front landing gear on the crawler in this slot, and obviously these connectors will connect up to, well, that's more for the Falcon Heavy than it is for the Falcon 9, because the Falcon 9 uses these ones to refuel, whereas the Falcon Heavy uses these. And obviously I have a crew arm up here as well that does go to the Crew Dragon. So let me just demonstrate on here. go. So it all the controls are down here. So obviously I got the fuel connectors that come here. And if you do it right, obviously if I do it right, it does connect up to the connectors quite easily. And obviously over here I have basically the fuel station with all these H2O2 generators. Obviously I have 4 big or large hydrogen tanks, along with some cargo containers for ice, and obviously this is the ice depot. So if you have a miner, you can hook up, and obviously if I wanted to, I could do it like an upright one, so for a vertical, well not for a vertical, for a flying miner. But basically that's it, that's the launch tower vehicle assembly. Now let's get to the rockets. We'll start off with the Falcon 9, my first creation. Well, 4th iteration of the Falcon 9. The first one didn't have the Crew Dragon, it was literally just a cockpit. There you go. It's upright on this display here. Fully fueled, ready to go. 2-stage with the Crew Dragon on top. So obviously to get in you have to go sideways. Once you get inside, I have a button there, and that closes the hatch to the Dragon. Now you want to get into the left cockpit, and that has all of your hotbar buttons, and they're basically set up for the different stages. So obviously the first page is main engines for the booster, and obviously disconnect from the launch tower if you've got it connected to the launch tower. Second page is the second stage, separation and engine turn on, and the last page is the Crew Dragon's ions and basically the nose cone, and obviously the separation there as well, and obviously parachutes if you want to come back in. So, do you want to take it for a spin? Let's have a go then. So just get the camera into a nice position. So we turn the main engines on. Main engines are on, I believe. Can't really tell. It's been a while. Yeah, they're on. And basically push up on the analog stick because of the orientation of the cockpit. Basically whatever direction your cockpit is facing, that's how you fly. So obviously it's facing up, you push up to go forward. A and B is basically left, or I won't say left and right, but it's like up and down on that axis. So here we go, taking off. Now it takes about 10 minutes to get into like orbit, so obviously we'll skip ahead to stage separation and Crew Dragon separation so we can show you that. Also, something to note is when you get about 10,000 meters, turn your dampeners off so you can keep your momentum. Just keep checking your meters a second as well. So we're coming up on 10,000 meters. Still got another 10,000 meters to go. The second stage engine is only one single large small grid, so you need to make sure you're quite a way out of the planet's gravity. Another booster there. It's funny. It's from a Falcon Heavy. Must have missed that one. And there's another one over there in the distance as well. Done a lot of testing on this game. Coming up on 15,000 meters. The planet's gravity is 0.43 G and going down. I do wish you can go slightly faster in this game, maybe to 200 meters a second, that'd be quite nice. Anything faster, then obviously it would break the game, but like, just for traversing space, yeah, it'd just be nice. 17,000 meters coming up. Now, if you wanted to conserve hydrogen, if you're playing in survival, I'd literally just wait until it gets down to about 90, thrust up, and just keep doing small incremental bursts. We're coming up on 19,000, almost to stage separation, so we'll get into that detail now. Basically, stage separation is from basically where the black mark is on the rocket. So when you get to about 20,000, which we're almost there, you want to shut down. So obviously turn your dampeners off. Dampeners are off. So we keep our inertia at 20,000 meters. So you want to turn off your first stage, switch to the next menu, disengage by using the merge block, and then turn on your engines after you disengage, and then you push forward and you separate. Nice and smooth. And you keep it going until you get to about 40,000 meters. So we'll see you then. Coming up on 30,000 meters, and we're at 0.15 G. And obviously, the second stage hydrogen engines haven't got that much fuel. So if you are doing this in survival, just keep an eye on the fuel. And just do small incremental bursts. Yeah, maybe max out the first stage fuel before initiating the second stage. I haven't actually tried it out in survival. I might do to see what the fuel is like. So if anybody has tried it in survival, please let me know in the comments below. But obviously, as you see, we turn off the inertial dampeners and we just keep going. Obviously, we don't have any reverse thrust active at the minute, so nothing's stopping us. But we are slowing down due to the gravity, so just keep it above 80, and you should still keep going, and you should still save fuel. So we've still got a bit more to go, another 10,000 meters and another 0.10 G. And when we get close, we'll do the dragon stage separation, and then we'll have a little play around. Sorry. Yeah, I do have 3 hydrogen tanks on this rocket, and only like 1 large hydrogen engine. So I think we've got a couple small side thrusters that are on now. You kind of don't really need the side thrusters, but I put them in there just in case you want to like move around a bit. Getting closer at 0.7 G and at 37,000 meters. Like I said, it takes about 10 minutes to get into orbit or into space. There's 40,000. Then you gotta get to about 45 before we leave planet's gravity altogether. So we'll just start setting up the Crew Dragon now as we're coasting towards that. So you want to switch to the next page, and you want to open the nose cone using left on the D-pad. But do not turn on your hydrogen ion thrusters at the minute, because you will destroy the second stage, or at least damage it. Alright, we're in 0 gravity, so you want to shut off the second stage, and then disconnect, ion engines on, and then push forward. There we go. Now we're Crew Dragon in space. And he handles quite nimble. Obviously, you might want to turn dampeners on now so you can slow down. Now, he's not that great at speed, because as you can see, it's taking a while to slow down. But I wanted to try and make it quite realistic to what it is in real life. Obviously, with what I can use in Space Engineers. Now, obviously, the bigger it is, the more detail you can put. But I think I've done quite well. Obviously, you've got 4 engines on the back. You could add some more. And same on the front. You could add more on the front if you really wanted to. And obviously, there's some on the side. So you have it. A successful launch of the Falcon 9 Crew Dragon. Shall we head back and then we'll have a look at the Falcon Heavy? So here we are back at the launch site. And let's check out the Falcon Heavy. Now it's exactly the same as the Falcon 9, except from the 2 side boosters. And obviously, as we head inside, I'll show you there's only a couple extra buttons. But basically everything is the same. So obviously on the first one, instead of it being a connector, it's a timer block, which basically disconnects all 3 connectors from the launch tower. Obviously the same, we've got all main engine on, and that does all the engines, including the side boosters. Second stage is slightly different as well. You've got an extra button, which is a timer block, that basically disconnects the merge blocks and the connectors on the side boosters for booster separation. Then obviously you have your stage separation and your hydrogen engine on for your second stage. And again, the last one is ion, your crew hatch, and your merge block for the crew dragon. So before we take this one out and show you how to do the booster separation now, I've made a Starman version of the Falcon Heavy with a little Tesla inside, which you can basically control the same as the Falcon Heavy with everything exactly the same, but instead of having the obviously the ions for the crew dragon. And obviously I got the hatch there for the fairing. Now fairings do deploy, which I'll demonstrate when we launch it. But I'm thinking about putting this one on the workshop as well, so if you want to see the Starman on the workshop, please let me know. And if you want me to do a Falcon 9 where it's either remote controlled, so you can basically in this fairing build something to put in space, I know, like a satellite, yeah, you have the option to do that if you really wanted to, and have it remote controlled. So I'm pretty sure you can remote control it. So I think there's an antenna on this. If not, I'll work it out. Yeah, but that's the Falcon Heavy Starman with a fairing payload. Obviously this one's Crew Dragon, yeah, which is slightly higher than that one, only just. So let's take the Falcon Heavy out for a spin, and now yet again it'll take 10 minutes to get in space. So we can either do a time lapse, or we can just cut to the major events like booster separation, second stage, and yada yada yada. Yeah. So firstly, let's get in, get it right. It's a nice camera angle. Get to the right page. Alright, now we want to turn on all the engines. All the engines are on, and then you basically push up, and off we go. I do love this design. It took me a while to perfect. I had a lot of issues with Clang to pay me a visit, especially when I was trying to connect the boosters. I think he stayed for dinner that day. So every time I would connect the booster and the merge block was on, as soon as the merge blocks would connect, it would literally just chuck the rocket through the ceiling, and I was like, ugh. So in the end I had to basically have the connector on, but the merge block turned off, position the booster as close as possible, so basically they're touching, the merge blocks are touching, release the landing gear from the crane, and then go down to it, manually turn on the merge blocks, and then just hope they connected, and they did, and it was perfectly fine. So I'm glad that worked, because it's quite a nice build. So we're going up. Let's just change camera position. So we have all of the engines. That's like 9, 18, 27 engines. It's a shame it can't go any faster with the more engines. Now I normally booster separate between 10,000 and 15,000 meters just before second stage. So we'll probably do it at 15,000 on this one. But you have to be careful when doing the booster separation, because if you do it a bit fast, sometimes the connectors will destroy each other because of how fast you're going. So see if it happens this time. If not, we'll work it out. I think what you got to do, you got to basically turn off inertial dampeners, and then as you do the separation from the boosters, let them disconnect before throttling up again. So basically don't throttle up, disconnect, wait for the boosters to drop off, and then throttle up ever so slightly, just tap it just to move away, and once you've cleared the connectors, just throttle up to max. So we're coming up on 10,000 meters, another 5,000 to go, and then we'll do booster separation. We're at 13,000 meters, just another 2 to go, and we'll do booster separation. Now both my Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy are in the workshop on the Xbox. This is only Xbox build. Now I don't know if you can get on the PC, but basically I built them on the Xbox, so you can definitely get them on the Xbox. Here we come, we're at booster separation now. So basically you go to the next page, do your time block, wait for them to disconnect, then throttle up, and we're away. Very nice. Very nice indeed. There they go. So basically just you separate, wait a couple seconds just to make sure they're disconnected, and then you throttle up. But you can see the boosters don't fling apart like they do in real life. I tried to stick like basically a small thruster on the inside of the booster and do thrust override with the timer block, but it only does like one thrust override, so it doesn't really move it. So I haven't quite figured out how you do that. I'm pretty sure you can forcibly have a force eject on the merge blocks, so just have to do it like that. It works, so it's fine. Now again, obviously we got to get to the certain height. Oh, we're at 20,000 meters. I'm getting a bit carried away here, so we want to do stage separation. So go back, turn off your booster, merge block, stage separation, and whatever, I turn it on, and let's go. Stage separation. I do love that. Well, because it took me a long time to figure out how to do it. I was like, do I stick the merge block on the engine? How do I do this? Yeah, and obviously as you can see, I put the merge block just on the side there. Can't even speak. I had to extend off basically the hydrogen tank with two connectors, like the large connectors, it's like a, I don't know, spacer. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, right, to give it obviously the height, and then I'll just stuck the merge block on, and obviously inside the booster there's another merge block which is on the outside shell, also facing inward, and it was just as simple as that. But I had to make sure that nothing around the two stages were actually connecting. So as you can see, I got a couple angle blocks on that side to stop it from connecting, and obviously on the booster as well, all of the straight blocks that connect around are angled to allow no connection. It was a task, but I managed to do it in the end, and I'm happy with it. I'm thinking about doing different iterations, different designs, because I can't really speak today. But anyway, yeah, I want to do different designs of the Falcon 9, or at least some of the SpaceX stuff. I think about doing the Falcon 1, yeah, which kind of would be looking like the second stage, slightly smaller with one engine. That's of course if it's got enough thrust. I'm currently building Starship. That's of course if Clang doesn't destroy it again. So I had SN1, I crashed. SN2 blew up, and I'm on SN3 now. And SN3 is completely redesigned from SN2 because Clang just did not like it. Yeah, I may do a video on the update of Starship. If this video gets enough likes and views and people want to see more of the SpaceX stuff I'm doing, I'll do regular updates on my builds, and any builds that you want to see I'll upload to the workshop so you can have a look. Yeah, I'm purely doing this for fun, and obviously if people like my creations and they want to use it, then I'm happy for them to use it. Coming up 40,000 meters. It does take a while to get to space. I'll probably have some ambient background music while we're flying through space. Make it go a bit nicer. Right, 40,000 meters. Coming up on 0G soon. So what I might do now is I might just turn off the second stage. Open the nose cone as we're drifting, so we're at 0.5. Separate, get ready. And now we disconnect, engines on, and off we go. Because obviously our momentum will keep us going to 0G. There we go, and we're in 0G. But yeah, and obviously displays. Obviously, I was going to stick a camera in the front so you can see where you're going. It's obviously inside, but you got your windows, you got your gravity, your speed, and your fuel for your co-pilot, if you had a co-pilot. But yeah, that's essentially the Crew Dragon again in space. It's quite nimble. So it does have two parachutes on it. So if you was to re-enter the planet's gravity and then head back down to the surface, you could land safely because the iron thrusters have no power. So now we're obviously in space, we'll go back down, so we'll cut the grids, clean up our space because I'm running out of CPU. One there, clean it up. Okay, the Falcon Heavy boosters, I believe, have landed. It's me. Well, one landed nice. Look at that. Talk about booster recovery. Is it damaged? Don't think it is. How nice is that? So I've designed them, obviously the boosters. I mean, that broke. Yeah, I designed the boosters because when you turn off inertial dampeners, they come back down. Obviously, whereas if you don't turn off inertial dampeners, they stay up there. So I'm glad they come back down, but you gotta kind of watch it because that could have landed on anything. So you might want to change your trajectory, maybe your angle. So let's just cut these away and find that second stage. Where is it? There it is. Unfortunately, we can't do that in real life. There's so much space debris up there. Right. Now, I think you've already seen enough demonstrations of rocket launches. Let's change the daytime. Alright. So basically, when you're flying this one, now if you want this one in the workshop, so I'm not too sure yet if I'm going to put it in the workshop, but if you're watching this and you want it in the workshop so you can fly Starman into space yourself, just comment down below and I'll put it in the workshop as soon as possible. Yeah, but essentially, just to show you fairing deploy, let's just put the fairing up. Essentially, they're on two rotors on the inside, and if you go to the last page, I have one rotor, obviously on the merge block. Right, but the rotor is set to disconnect, which goes boom. So I'm pretty sure I can just knock out of the way. Works well in space, not so well on the planet. Well, but basically they're not connected to it now, but I can't get it back inside. So let me just show you. So I cut that grid off here, look. So it doesn't cut the entire rocket, it just cuts the grid. And I'll show you inside. See the rotor? I wonder if I can just shake it. There you go. That's essentially Starman inside. And I'm trying to work up a system because you can reattach the rotor heads back in manually. So I'm not quite sure how I would do that because you just have to slot that in. So maybe I might work up like a pulley, not a pulley system, like a crane system in like a vertical assembly building that basically slots the two fairing aft's together. We'll have to see what my brain figures out. So I hope you enjoyed this SpaceX tour of my creative SpaceX world, and you've enjoyed basically looking at me fly the rockets and learn how to fly them, because that's the whole point of this video, is to show you how to fly them. I know it's a bit long-winded, and hopefully I'll try and cut it down so it's manageable. Liked this video, please hit that like button and leave a comment of any questions, and let me know if you want me to put the Starman in the workshop. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. As you can see, I'm way past 50 subscribers, and it's just nice to keep having them coming in. I've been Dr. Mck4y, like I said, happy building, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.